In the heart of the turbulent 12th century, a time of clashing empires and warring faiths, one name rose above the chaos, echoing through the ages: Saladin. This is the story of the warrior Sultan, a man whose legacy of strength, chivalry, and vision would reshape the Middle East and earn the respect of both his allies and his enemies. Our story begins around the year 1137 in Tikrit, modern-day Iraq, with the birth of a boy named Yusuf ibn Ayyub. Born into a Kurdish family of military renown, his father, Najm ad-Din Ayyub, and his uncle Shirkuh served the powerful Zengid dynasty. Little did anyone know that this boy, later known as Salah ad-Din or Saladin, would rise from these modest beginnings to become the Sultan of Egypt and Syria and the founder of the mighty Ayyubid Dynasty. Growing up, Saladin was not just a warrior in training. He moved with his family to Syria, where he immersed himself in the study of the Quran, theology, arithmetic, and, of course, the sciences of war. He was a keen observer of the world around him, a world defined by the ongoing conflict between Crusader armies and Muslim forces, and the complex web of rivalries within the Islamic world itself. This volatile environment was the crucible that forged his character and strategic mind. His first major test came in 1164. The Zengid ruler, Nur ad-Din, dispatched an expedition to Egypt to intervene in a crisis gripping the ruling Fatimid Caliphate. Saladin accompanied his uncle Shirkuh on this critical mission. Egypt was a land of immense wealth and strategic importance, but it was politically fractured. It was here, amidst the political intrigue of Cairo, that Saladin's destiny began to take shape. 5 years later, in 1169, fate intervened. Shirkuh suddenly passed away, and against all odds, the young Saladin was appointed as the vizier, the chief minister, of the Fatimid Caliphate. It was a stunning rise to power. Many underestimated him, seeing him as a young, inexperienced outsider, but Saladin proved them all wrong. He was shrewd, capable, and ambitious. Within 2 years, he made a move that would change the course of history. In 1171, Saladin abolished the Shia Fatimid Caliphate, realigning Egypt with the Sunni Abbasid Caliph in Baghdad. This wasn't just a religious move, it was a masterstroke of political genius. It secured his authority, eliminated his rivals in Cairo, and gave him an independent and incredibly powerful base of operations: Egypt, the breadbasket of the Mediterranean. With Egypt as his stronghold, Saladin began to build his future empire. He was more than just a conqueror, he was a nation builder. He reformed the military, streamlined the administration, and invested heavily in infrastructure. One of his most enduring projects was the construction of the magnificent citadel of Cairo, a fortress that would serve as the seat of Egyptian government for centuries, and still dominates the city's skyline today. He was methodically consolidating his resources, preparing for the far greater struggle that lay ahead: the unification of Muslim lands to confront the Crusader states. The opportunity he had been waiting for arrived in 1174, with the death of his former master, Nur ad-Din. The Zengid Empire fell into disarray, and Saladin seized the moment. Leading his Egyptian army, he marched into Syria. He entered Damascus in November 1174, not as a brutal conqueror, but as a protector. Through a brilliant combination of diplomacy, strategic alliances, and, when necessary, decisive force, he gradually brought the major cities of Syria, Homs, Hama, and the formidable Aleppo, under his control. His ultimate goal was clear: to unite Egypt and Syria under a single powerful ruler. Only a unified Islamic front, he believed, could hope to challenge the entrenched Crusader kingdoms that had occupied the Levant for nearly a century. This path was fraught with peril. He not only faced the Crusaders but also rival Muslim dynasties who saw him as a threat, and even the mysterious and feared Order of Assassins, who twice attempted to take his life. Yet, through perseverance and unmatched skill, he succeeded forging the Ayyubid state. Now, we arrive at the defining chapter of Saladin's life: His confrontation with the Crusader states, a conflict that would cement his legend. The climax came in the blistering summer of 1187, at a place called the Horns of Hattin, overlooking the Sea of Galilee. Saladin's unified army met the combined forces of the Kingdom of Jerusalem. Through brilliant tactical maneuvering, Saladin lured the heavily armored Crusader army into a waterless wasteland, trapping them under the scorching sun. The result was a devastating and decisive victory for the Muslims. The Crusader army was annihilated, their king captured, and most symbolically the true cross, their most sacred relic, was seized. The Battle of Hattin wasn't just a military victory. It was a strategic masterpiece that shattered the military power of the Crusader states and opened the road to the ultimate prize, Jerusalem. On October 2, 1187, after nearly 90 years of Crusader rule, Saladin stood at the gates of the Holy City. The world held its breath. When the First Crusade had taken the city, they had unleashed a horrific massacre. But Saladin chose a different path. He offered terms. The city surrendered, and while ransoms were demanded for the Christian inhabitants, Saladin's conduct was marked by a remarkable degree of mercy and generosity. He personally paid the ransom for thousands, allowed many of the poor to leave freely, and ensured an orderly transfer of power, preventing the bloodshed that many had feared. His actions in Jerusalem became a testament to his character, earning him admiration even among his foes. The fall of Jerusalem sent shockwaves across Europe, sparking the Third Crusade. The most powerful kings of Christendom, including the legendary Richard III of England, known as the Lionheart, took up the cross to reclaim the Holy City. What followed was an epic clash of titans, a prolonged and grueling war between two of history's most iconic military leaders, Richard and Saladin. They battled for control of the coast, with Richard winning key victories at Acre and Arsuf. Yet for all his martial prowess, the Lionheart could never retake Jerusalem. Saladin's forces, though battered, held firm. The two leaders developed a grudging, chivalrous respect for one another, exchanging gifts and courtesies even as their armies fought. In the end, they negotiated a truce that left Jerusalem in Muslim hands, but guaranteed Christian pilgrims safe access to their holy sites. But who was the man behind the myth? Beyond his military genius, Saladin is remembered for his personal virtues. He was known for his deep piety, his humility, and his incredible generosity. Accounts from the time describe a ruler who cared little for personal wealth. When he died in Damascus in 1193, his personal treasury was reportedly almost empty. He had given nearly everything he had to his subjects and to charitable causes. Saladin became more than a sultan. He became a symbol. In the Islamic world, he is revered as a unifier, a defender of the faith, and a paragon of just leadership. But his legend also crossed cultural divides. In European literature, he was often depicted as a noble and chivalrous adversary, an honorable pagan. His name became synonymous with magnanimity and honor. His Ayyubid Dynasty would continue to rule over Egypt, Syria, and Yemen for decades, a direct result of the stable empire he had forged. Today, Saladin's story continues to resonate. It is the tale of a leader who combined military brilliance with strategic governance and a profound moral compass. From the dusty streets of Tikrit to the grand citadels of Cairo and Damascus, from the decisive battlefield of Hattin to the hallowed walls of Jerusalem, Saladin's journey remains one of the most extraordinary in history. His life serves as a powerful reminder that history is shaped not just by the sword, but by vision, by character, and by the enduring pursuit of justice. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey into the past. If you enjoyed this story, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the lives of history's most fascinating figures. We'll see you in the next one.